UK. I hope you guys have had a wonderful week. I hope you've stayed active. You've either gone running, brisk walking, aerobics, Zumba, high intensive interval training, any form of exercise just to keep your body in good shape, looking after God's temple. And I hope you've also tried to observe all safety guidelines regarding COVID that's still out there. Please stay safe, guys, and don't take things for granted. I'd like to seize this opportunity to thank all my subscribers and all those people who have been liking my videos. I'm so grateful. We've really got a lot of subscribers, and it's really exciting to see that people are valuing all our recordings. So today I've got a special guest once again. I've got a nutritionist who has spent a lot of time researching various areas of nutrition. She's done research into population nutrition, lifespan nutrition, which is the nutrition, which studies nutrition needs changes from birth to adulthood, health promotion and behavior, food security and food safety, health psychology, which is the relationship between mental health and illnesses. She's currently doing a postgrad research in dietetics, so she's full of knowledge, and I believe that she'll be able to answer a lot of the questions that I have for her today. And I'd like to introduce one and only Debbie Mabo, who is spared the time to be with us. We're on 2 different time zones. She's based in Australia. I mean, where I'm in the UK, so it's about 10 hours difference. So it's Saturday there, and it's still Friday here. But hey, the things I go through for you guys just to make sure that you get all the information that you need. So that's really cool. So Debbie, welcome to Spirit Runners UK, my YouTube channel. How are you today? Tell us a bit about yourself.
Thank you for having me. So as mentioned, I'm Debbie. I'm studying a master's in dietetics to become a dietitian, hopefully by the end of this. I am really interested in diet and nutrition and healthy lifestyle, because I believe that having a healthy diet is actually more important than exercise. But of course, exercise is also important. But having a healthy diet is linked with many good health benefits, and unhealthy diet is linked with a lot of illnesses. So having a healthy diet is linked to a good lifestyle. So that's what I'm really interested in.
Excellent. So that's why what bringing you here is so relevant to this channel, because it's a one-stop shop for health and fitness. That's why I've called it one-stop shop. So although I obviously specialize in all the exercises and all the different things, I bring in experts to cover areas that I feel could give us a lot more knowledge. And that's why I'm so grateful that you've been able to spare the time to come down, to spare the time to come on our channel to be able to answer some questions, which are very popular questions that I know people have been asking. So I'm going to kick things right off by going straight into it. So I've got a number of questions here. My very first question is about running, actually, which is my passion. And the question is, what is a good diet for a runner? So someone like me, for example, as a runner, what would you consider, as an expert, what would you consider as a good diet for me as a runner, and others who run, who obviously tune into this channel to watch the channel?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. Well, in short, there is no actual specific diet that a runner should follow, because everyone's energy needs are different depending on your level of intensity of training and many other factors. So it will actually vary per person. But the most important thing to do is focus on having a balanced and healthy diet from each of the different food groups. So that's a diet that's high in fruits and vegetables. So meeting your 5 a day, has high fiber carbohydrates like your potato, bread, rice, pasta, beans, pulses, fish and meats, some dairy, and your your unsaturated oils and spreads, so your olive oil and canola oil, for example, and then a lot of fluids, so around 6 to 8 glasses of water per day, and limiting your high energy foods like your takeaways, chocolates, and all those foods, and also only eating when you're hungry and not for other factors like being bored, sad, or procrastinating. But the main difference between someone who's exercising and someone who isn't is the need for maintaining and repairing your muscle mass as some is lost during your exercise. So
Wow.
what's important is to include some protein and mix it with carbohydrate at meals and snacks and spread it throughout the day. So some proteins may include your nuts, eggs, legumes, tofu, meat, fish, or dairy. And ensure you're
Okay.
doing this within 2 hours of exercising. So that way you're straight away building your muscle mass after exercising. And choose preferably an animal-based protein, so your meats. Some examples may include like a tuna and chicken salad sandwich, muesli with yogurts, nuts, and fruit, eggs on toast or a smoothie. And also make sure you're drinking enough water after exercising to rehydrate, as you would have lost some water during while sweating. But
Okay.
if you are running for a long period of time, for example, a marathon, which I know you do, which lasts more than 90
Sure.
minutes,
Yes.
during those times, if it's a long period of time, it would be good to make sure you are fueling up and having enough carbohydrate to keep you going. So if you do choose to eat before an event, choose a meal or a snack that is high in carbohydrate and easy to digest to prevent any stomach issues. And
Okay.
that will provide you some fuel. So that may be something like a small bowl of cereal with fruit and yogurt, or a small bowl of rice or pasta, or some crumpets with honey, and sliced banana, or raisin toast with jam, or a smoothie. And also make sure you're drinking enough water beforehand so you're hydrated enough during the run. And then during the run, if you do need to top up your energy stores, having a sports bar or sports gel, muesli bars, bananas, or simple sweet and savory sandwiches like a jam or peanut butter sandwich, that might be appropriate during the run. So give you some
Okay.
energy. And
Okay.
sports drinks and electrolyte drinks during that time will also be useful. So like your
Okay.
Gatorade or other types of drinks, just to provide you some more energy if that's what you want to do, and to also rehydrate. And as
Okay.
mentioned earlier, after your run, that's a great time to recover and promote
Mm.
your muscle repair, which would have decreased during your exercise. So again,
Right.
mixing your carbohydrate with your protein in your meal and your snack, and then rehydrate again with your water or electrolyte drink.
Wow. Wow. That's a ton of very, very useful stuff.
Yeah,
I've done a lot of research because, as you rightfully said, I do marathons and ultra marathons, which are longer than marathons. And if you don't get your nutrition right, you're in trouble, big trouble. I
yeah,
like the part. I like when you talked about what happens to your muscles when you exercise. That's an area that a lot of people find quite strange. Can you just shed a bit more light on that aspect? So you talked about losing muscle mass. I know that the muscles do break down when you exercise, and then they repair after you exercise, which is why you experience that initial pain when you
yeah,
finish. And then your recovery period, which is where rest and recovery is so essential, your muscles begin to repair themselves. So you talked about losing muscle mass. Can you just shed a bit more light on that and how your nutrition can aid muscle repair?
yeah. So pretty much your muscle is made of protein, and when you're exercising, you are using that muscle. You're using it. It is used sometimes as energy, along with your carbohydrate stores, but it is being, since you're having a lot of it's a lot of strain on your muscles, so it can
Yes, yes.
get damaged during that time. So that's
Okay.
why afterwards, when you're resting and recovering, it will start to build itself on its own. But to
Mhm.
aid that building, it's better to eat some protein to help to
Right.
have some, to build that up on its own alongside the
Right.
protein. So that'll help it build quicker and easier.
Fantastic, fantastic. So it just goes to show that it's not, when you exercise, it's not just about just getting out there to run or to do whatever. You've got to, recovery is essential because the
Yeah,
muscles naturally do break down. And for you
yeah,
to aid recovery, which is where you come in as a as a nutritionist, and which is what your emphasis is, to get that repair that you require, you've got to, especially you need protein almost instantly. So the repair process starts immediately. So that way you
yeah,
recover quicker and you're ready for your next run or your next exercise. But that's a normal process. It's not that because you've had your muscle break down or you're feeling all this aches and pain, that's a natural process. It's not, that's not due to injury, because that's exactly how the body's designed. It's designed when
Yeah.
you go out there, you do use your muscles, and then they get damaged, they get repaired, but it's really quick, especially if you do the right things, even quicker. Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for those answers to those questions. I've got another question which I think is also quite interesting. It's a question that's also, it's actually quite relevant to me, and it is, what is a good diet for a slim person who wants to exercise but is afraid they will lose weight? Someone actually did ask me this question, because the person was like, okay, I want to exercise. It's not actually more than one person. Two people have actually asked me, I want to exercise, but I don't want to lose weight. And, if I'm doing all that exercise, am I not likely to just shrink? They're scared. So can you talk about dieting, and if you could just maybe shed a bit more light on that? Is it true, or is there a way around it, or how would you answer that question?
Yeah, look, that's also a really good and very relevant question. And I'm sure a lot of people would have questions about that. But so our bodies are actually really good at monitoring our weight. So weight loss really only occurs if there's an energy imbalance. So if the calories you eat are less than the calories you're burning in exercise. So the body will naturally compensate for the energy that you burn in exercise by you will find that when you're exercising, you have a large appetite and you're actually eating more. That will occur because you have higher nutritional requirements because you're using energy up with your exercise. So if you're not planning on losing or gaining weight, you just wanted to maintain your weight where you are, there is actually no need to change diet, because that will happen naturally, that you'll eat a bit more. But exercise is important regardless of your body size because of its many health benefits. So there's no need to restrict your physical activity if you are slim. So as mentioned before, eat just a healthy and balanced diet. That should be your focus. So your fruits and vegetables and your different food. But to maintain your muscle mass, because again, as mentioned before, some muscle will broken down during exercise. Consuming your high quality proteins from your meat products and your carbohydrates, your whole grain carbohydrates, not your processed ones, and spread these throughout the day. Yeah, and then on top of your typical cardio exercise that a lot of people would do, maybe if they go to the gym, include some resistance training and some weights to help maintain that muscle mass. So that way
absolutely fantastic. I think that's a really good one, because I think it's what do you call it? It's a myth that if you're a slim person, because you don't want to lose weight, you shouldn't really do any exercise. People are depriving themselves of being healthy and fit by not doing exercise because they're slim. So it's a balance, rightfully said, it's a balance. If you're going to be doing exercise, you obviously you're going to need extra energy, so you need to eat more calories to burn when you're doing the exercise. And of course, you've got to make sure you have protein to repair any muscle damage that you experience during exercise. So I think that's the best way to handle it. So please, if you're slim and you watch this channel, you've got no more excuses. Just get on with it because you are not going to lose weight if you eat a normal, healthy diet. So that leads us to our next question, which I know a lot of people have asked that question as well. Now it says here, are weight gain shakes good for people working out in the gym and for runners? There's this weight shakes, this supplements that people sometimes just take it religiously, and you just wonder why. So are they good for people? Do you have to take them if you're working out in the gym, you're just doing strength training, and also if you're doing a lot of cardiovascular exercise like running? What's your view on that based on your research and your
well, the general consensus from my research is that achieving good nutrition from food should be your priority before any other supplements. In some cases, maybe supplements or shakes may be useful, but a lot of the time the products that are on the market the advertised effects are over exaggerated. So it's important to
Right.
be careful when you're looking at them on the market. Some may not be scientifically tested or regulated, and it can
Mm.
sometimes contain illegal substances, which can lead to side
Wow.
effects and cause harm. So it's important to, when you're looking at those things, to speak to health professionals, such as a sports dietitian who's been professionally trained. That'll
Yes,
increase
yes.
the safety of you when you're using your supplements or your shakes. A dietitian will be able to assess your nutritional needs and
Mm.
see if your supplements are needed before you make any recommendations. And it's important to know what your needs, what your goals are when you're exercising, and if these
Yeah.
products are actually necessary. Many times that you can meet your needs by consuming a healthy and balanced diet with a variety of fruits and vegetables and all the food groups that I mentioned before. But
Yes.
if you do decide to use supplements, make sure you're using the ones that are high quality products and that are certified by third parties. So, example, your NSF or your Informed Sport certified
Mm-hmm.
products, and do some
Mm-hmm.
thorough research before you decide to purchase anything.
Fantastic. So you heard it from an expert. Those who just suddenly believe that they should just, if they're going to the gym, they should just, go and get those weight gain shakes. Um, don't just run to the store or on Amazon to purchase one. You may actually not need to take them if you're eating properly. And if you are going to take them, then do your research properly, find out what's in it, and then ask experts, their opinion about those shakes. Because you may actually not need them. But if you're going to take them, you've got to make sure you take the good ones. So that leads us to our next question, which is about there's this a lot in the media about fat burner food. So what are, if it's true, are there any good fat burner foods, or what are they? What are fat burner foods? Foods that you can actually eat that would help to burn excess fat that's in the body.
Yeah. Well, fat burner foods are really just foods that increase your metabolism and promote fat loss. So when you're having a high metabolism, then you're burning more fat. So that's what fat burner foods generally are. So a lot of the fat burning supplements that you hear in the media and the market are really unsafe or ineffective. So some foods that you can find that may be useful with this are fatty fish. So like your salmon, your sardine, mackerel, tuna, etc. Your coffee, eggs, green tea, apple cider vinegar, chili peppers, cinnamon, Greek yogurt, and olive oil. They all have these fat burning effects because they increase your metabolism. And foods that are high in protein and fiber and low in calories will also keep you fuller for longer, and it will reduce the amount of food that you eat, and then it will reduce the amount of fat that you're putting on from food. So some of these will be your oatmeal, your fruits, your vegetables. They're high in fiber. And then foods like quinoa, tabbouleh, nuts, milk, and beans, they're high in protein. So this doesn't mean eat all of these foods at once because you want to burn fat, but include them as part of a balanced diet so that it will do its job alongside other foods, which also provide you some nutrients.
Okay. So those foods that you just mentioned, some of them actually, because they increase metabolism in the body, and the body requires energy to burn, to metabolize, the body will end up using your fat reserves as energy to burn, to metabolize, and then that way you lose the fat, the excess fat that you have in reserves. Okay, that's an eye opener. So you've heard it. If you've got excess fat in your body and your goal is to actually lose it, apart from the exercise that you're doing, and obviously watching the amount of calories that you put in your body, if you target certain foods like Debbie just mentioned, they will also help as part of, so you can't rely on them on their own, as part of fat burners that will help to reduce the level of fat, the percentage of fat in your body. So that leads us to the last question, which is about water. And the question to you is, what is the role of water in our body, and how many cups should we drink a day? There's so many things this on the web. Some people say it's 8 cups, some people say it's 10 cups. Is there a role of water in our body? And if there is, which we know there is anyway, how many cups should we drink a day?
Yeah, well, water is actually really important. Around 60% of our body is actually made of water. So you can imagine water is very important to drink. And it has a lot of important different functions in our body. So it protects our tissues and our joints. It helps with digestion and waste removal. It regulates our body temperature and it maintains our blood volume. And a lot of processes and chemical reactions in our body need water for body function. So water is really important, especially during exercise, because water is lost in the sweat in an attempt to cool us down. And if it's not replaced, it can lead to dehydration. Now, dehydration is a problem because it reduces your physical and your mental performance. So when exercising, always make sure you're well hydrated beforehand. So drink enough water beforehand that you feel that you're well hydrated. And during exercise, make sure you're having also sips of water during exercise. And drink water after exercise as well to reduce that risk of dehydration. So on average, the recommended amount of water to be around or around a day. So that's about 1.5 to 2 liters of water per day. And this will be higher if you're exercising at moderate to high intensity or on a hot day when you're expecting to be sweating on a hot day. But you should really aim for around 2 liters of water per day. So just carry a water bottle around with you and drink throughout the day is the take-home message for that.
So what in terms of cups, how many cups? Because people may not, it's obviously there's so many different bottles, but if you want to gauge a cup, like a teacup, not a teacup, like a mug, we in England call it, I don't know what you guys in Australia call it, a mug. How many of that would you need to drink a day? How many of that is 2 liters, roughly?
Yeah, I'd probably say around 7 or 8 of them. So 6 to 8 of them. So 6 to 8 of those mugs or cups would probably come towards 2 liters.
2 liters. So does that include tea and coffee, or is that exclusive of tea and coffee?
Yeah, water there's actually, you have water in your tea and your coffee, so you can also include that in your daily intake. So if you're having some tea in your coffee, then you can have a bit less water. But ensuring that you're having enough water is most important.
Okay, excellent. Well, I think we've come to the end of our interview. We've just answered the last question. Thank you so much for all the answers you provided. You shed a lot of light on the role of a good diet in health and fitness, and how it's essential as part of a healthy lifestyle. Like I say to my viewers, it's not just about the exercise part, which is where I come in, but also what you put into your body and how you use the food that you eat when you're exercising. Those are the things that will impact how fit and how healthy you are. And also if you're thinking of weight loss, also it helps you in terms of losing weight. You talked about foods that are fat burners that help the metabolize, and through metabolizing in the body, they help generate metabolizing in the body. Metabolism in the body, and it's very tongue-tied. It's a good thing I'm not an expert in that area. But because of that, you end up burning fat and then losing the weight that you want. We've heard about good diet for a runner, what is essential, what you need to take into account. And if you're a slim person thinking that your fitness would cause you to lose weight, you've got no excuses anymore, because that myth has been debunked. You just need to ensure that you're eating well. And of course, when you're doing exercise, you tend to eat more anyway to replace the energy that you've lost. So thank you so much for your time, Debbie, for coming on our channel and answer those questions. And I hope you viewers have found this very useful. Please remember to subscribe. If you've not subscribed yet, please click on the subscribe button. And please remember to like this video and send it out to families and friends, because there's so much information in there that would really help you. So grateful for your time. And I know it's probably daytime, it's morning in your end. We're just getting ready to go to bed. So I hope you have a wonderful day. And thank you so much for the time that you've spared to come on our channel. We hope to have you back again sometime in the future, maybe to cover other areas, as people obviously give us feedback and ask more questions. We'll probably have more questions to ask you as well. And I know this takes a lot to organize, but we'll get around it, even though there's about 10 hours difference between us and you in Australia. But thank you so much for your time, and God bless you. And have a very good day. Thank you once again.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.